Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Soranandana Pratijana Ranjana Jasodanandana Pratijana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Soranandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari Soranandana Bhajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Vishmad Paramahansa Prabhudakacharya Asatara Sadashishi Mad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananda Gaura Vaishnavani Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vedic Radha Sri Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samakam Radha Kunigiri Goran Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Shri Maya Varnavidam Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Jamunamai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. How glorious some of the devotees, how glorious some of the devotees, how glorious some of the devotees, how glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So you can get questions on there, huh? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so if anyone has a question, you could send it in. Can you give me the iPad there? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this evening, this Sunday feast program, I guess you can't call it a Sunday feast program, there's no feast. So we're going to read from the srimadbhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 14, Text number 13. This is from the Uddhava Gita. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, the song of God, to Arjuna. And now he is speaking this Uddhava Gita to Uddhava, another great devotee of Krishna. And he says, Akinchina Siddhantasya Santasya Samajetasa Maya Santosta Manasa Sarva Sukha Maya Disha. One who does not desire anything within this world, who has achieved peace by controlling his senses, whose consciousness is equal in all conditions, and whose mind is completely satisfied in me, finds only happiness wherever he goes. So Krishna has given us these 5 guidelines on to how to find happiness wherever he goes and in any situation. So this is how to find happiness in a place where Krishna is stamped, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. It's a place of suffering. But it's possible to be happy in a place of suffering. So the purport says, a devotee who is always meditating upon Lord Krishna experiences transcendental sound, touch, form, flavor, and aroma in the pastimes of the Lord. These sublime perceptions are certainly due to the causeless mercy of Lord Krishna upon one whose mind and senses are completely satisfied in him. Such a person finds only happiness wherever he goes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that when a very wealthy man travels all over the world, at every place he stays, he always enjoys the same luxurious standard of comfort. Similarly, one who has developed Krishna consciousness is never separated from happiness, because Lord Krishna is all-pervading. The word kinchana indicates the so-called enjoyable things of this world. One who is akinchana has correctly understood that material sense gratification is simply the glare of illusion, and therefore such a person is dantasya, or self-controlled, santasya, or peaceful, and maya santushta manasa, or completely satisfied with his transcendental experience of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Gyanatam Anandasya Gyanandana Salakya Chakshram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruvena Mukam Krotavachalam Pangunang Havite Grim Yat Kripataraham Bande Shigarum Dinataranam Vanchikapachibhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudhi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's a interesting story of a rich man and a poor man who lived next to each other. And the rich man, he went out in front of his home and he saw that the poor man, he only had one horse. So he saw the poor man there. Oh, not so good, huh? Only one horse. And the poor man said, well, could be good, could be bad. So then his son was riding his horse, and then another horse became attracted to this horse and followed home. And he got an extra horse. And the rich man saw, oh, you have another horse. Very good. Very nice. Very good. Could be good. Could be bad. So the son was training the new horse, and he got bucked off the horse. Broken leg. The rich man said, oh, not so good. Well, could be good, could be bad. And then a war began. The military was coming around getting the young men for the war, and his son had a broken leg. Couldn't go. So it went on like that. It seemed like it was good, seemed like it was bad, but you never know. So just like we have this COVID-19. Now some good things have come out of this. For instance, the air is much cleaner now around the world. The Yamuna hasn't been so clean in over 70 years. I just heard recently that in Venice, Italy, people can see the fish in the canals. They couldn't see them before. So Krishna, sometimes, in a family, the children will do something wrong, and the parents will say, you go to your room and just stay there. So Krishna's kind of told the whole world, just you're naughty, just go to your room and stay there. Because it's a stay home, in the world pretty much. So we're so naughty throughout the world, doing so much nonsense. So Krishna just said, all right, everybody, you're such rascals, just go to your room and stay there. And that's what's happening. Hopefully we learned some lesson from so much nonsense activities. So Krishna here, he's given a 5-point way to be happy in any situation. So the first point he makes here is one has to be free of material desires. That's an easy one, huh? Yeah, to be happy is not so easy. Just like when we were young, it was ideal to yes, do whatever you want to do and you'll be happy, but we don't know who we are. That's the problem. Everybody's going around thinking that they're their body, and whatever I want, that will make me happy. If I do that, then I'm happy. But they don't know who the I is. Yeah. The I is the soul. So if we do what Krishna wants, then we're happy. Atmendra piti vanchatari balikam, Krishnendra piti ichadari premanam. That material desire means the desire to satisfy one's own senses and mind. And love is to satisfy the senses of Krishna. So there's lust and there's love. Lust means the desire to satisfy our own senses. Love is to satisfy the senses of Krishna. And this is how we become happy. If we do things that are pleasing to Krishna, then we'll find that we're very happy. Because Krishna, he is the supreme controller. So he's in control of everything. And believe it or not, even our happiness and distress. If we do things that are pleasing to Krishna, we'll find ourselves being very happy. And if we do things that are selfish, this is another nature of material desire, selfishness. We're selfish. We want to do things that are for me. Yeah. But selfless means doing things for Krishna. This satisfies the soul. And if we act in this way, then wherever we go, we'll only find happiness. So the next thing Krishna says is, whose senses are controlled. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jiva vegam buddhapastu vegam etan vegam yovasahitadya savami pamam pitiving sasisya. That one who is able to control the urge to speak, the mind's demands, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals, such a person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So we have to learn to control the tongue. Tongue has two functions. One, to speak. Two, to taste. When Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, there was a great devotee there, many great devotees, but one particular, one of the Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was very, very humble. He would never speak to Lord Chaitanya personally. He would only speak to him, he would only express himself through Swarup Damodar. So he asked him to ask Lord Chaitanya, how can I surrender? What will please him? So he gave him 8 instructions. He said, don't speak like the people in general. It's like now there's so much news throughout the world. There's, of course, the coronavirus is the main news now throughout the world. But it's a disease. Yeah? So many diseases. So this is one disease. Yeah? There's been so many viruses. There's so many diseases. So it's natural. This is the material world. So we shouldn't get so caught up in it. Of course, we should protect ourselves and feel sympathy for those who are suffering from this disease, and of course sympathy for the people whose loved ones have passed away. There should be some sympathy, of course. But this is the nature of this world: birth, death, old age, disease. Yeah. But the main disease that people aren't aware of, it's an epidemic, pandemic, and that is this Maya. Everybody is infected by this Maya, the illusory energy. And just like with this coronavirus, there's symptoms: sore throat, coughing, some fever. So there's symptoms of someone who has this Maya infection. And that is lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, and madness. This is the symptom. So in the material world, everybody has these symptoms and therefore infected. But there's a disinfectant by which you can become free of this Maya. Jeev Jago, Gaurachandra Bole. Lord Chaitanya said that he has come to give the medicine. He says, Jeev Jago, wake up! Sleep. And so how long are you going to sleep on the lap of the witch Maya? I've come to give you the medicine that can cure you from this disease. And that medicine is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So don't hear what the people in general have to say. Don't speak like them as well. Yeah. We hear what is given to us by Krishna, and we speak what we hear. We hear what Prabhupada has spoken, and we repeat. In this way we get purified. There's so much nonsense in this world, practically unlimited nonsense in this world. But we're so fortunate that within this world of so much Maya, so much illusion, we've gotten the message of Krishna, the message of Godhead, and the message of Srila Prabhupada. So we're very fortunate, so we should be very diligent, very careful. In this way we won't get more infected, but we'll become disinfected. We'll become free of this contamination, this disease of Maya. So don't speak like the people in general. Don't hear what they have to say. Don't eat very palatial food, very rich foods. Don't dress very nicely, opulently. Offer all respects to others. Don't desire respect for yourself. Always chant the holy name, and within your mind serve Sri Sri Radha and Krishna in the land of Vrindavan. So this was his instruction, the 8 instructions by Lord Chaitanya to Raghunath Das Goswami. So we can all learn from that. So, akinchinasya dantasya. We have to control the senses. We have to control the tongue. We're able to control the urge to speak. The mind's demand. The mind is demanding so much demand from the mind. But the mind is, as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the mind is a rascal. It's a non-devotee. So we're trained by Krishna, by Srila Prabhupada. We don't take advice from non-devotees. Right? We take advice from Krishna, from the pure devotees, and the Vaishnavas, not from non-devotees. So we shouldn't accept whatever the mind says just to go ahead and do whatever it says. No. Unless it's become purified. And we'll know when the mind is purified when it's saying things that are in line with the desire of Krishna or Srila Prabhupada, the Vaishnavas. So when he was able to control the mind or control the senses, the urge to speak, the mind's demand, anger. Anger is another thing that we have to control. If we hang on to anger, it disturbs the whole body. Actually, it's described. Prabhupada actually mentions that the eyes become disturbed and the whole body. From anger, people hit things, with their fist and kick things, and this way anger comes out in various ways. But anger can also be used in the service of Krishna. It's like Hanuman. He is such a great devotee. And it's described that Hanuman was the example of all the Vaishnavas to be perfect in the service to the Lord. And what was his service? Practically destroyed a whole city. Anger. He was very angry that this rascal Ravana had taken Sita, the consort of Ram. So he was very angry, and he exhibited his service attitude by letting his anger out on Ravana and the city of Lanka. So desire also can be utilized in the service of Krishna. We just have to purify our desire and just desire to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. And we're very fortunate that we get so much guidance on how to please Krishna, how to serve Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Jai Shri Shri Gaunita Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. So we're very fortunate. And now this is a lockdown practically throughout the world. But we're so fortunate, we're locked down here in the temple with the Lord. And even if you're not living in the temple, now with modern day internet, you could go all over the world. You could hear classes in Vrindavan. You can hear classes here in SanDiego. I don't know, there's not many places actually now that Los Angeles, they're not giving classes. There's many temples have just stopped. I think even Bombay. So, well, there are some places. Mayapur is giving classes, okay. So there are some places. You look on, we have this desire tree, appropriately called, Kalpavriksha, desire tree in the internet. And there you could find so many ways to stay connected with Krishna. And there's so many podcasts now also coming up. Sri Prahlad, he has his podcast. And some other devotees. And Bibi Govinda Maharaj also. Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. Yeah, so many. There's many ways that we can still stay connected to Krishna during this very unusual time. So Kinchinasya Dantasya Santasya. Santasya means peaceful. So this is another way to retain our happiness, being peaceful. So what does it mean to be peaceful? In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it's stated, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakalya Shanta. That the devotees of the Lord are very peaceful because they have no selfish desire, akama. They have no material desires, so they're peaceful. But people who have so many material desires, bhukti, mukti, they have a desire for liberation, siddhi, they want mystic perfection, siddhikami, so many desires. It's like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya, he's instructing, I think it's Sanatana Goswami, and he tells of an astrologer who would go to different people's homes. And his name was Sarvagya, which means he knows everything. So we went to one poor man, and the poor man, he was lamenting, I am so poor. So poor. He said, don't lament. You're actually very wealthy. Your father has left you a great treasure. But be careful. When you go to get this treasure, be very careful. Because if you dig on the southern part of where this treasure is, you're going to be harassed by bees and drones, and they're going to bite you, and they're going to harass you so much that you won't be able to touch the treasure. And if you dig on the western side, you're going to be harassed by ghosts, and they're going to scare you so much you won't be able to touch the treasure. And if you dig on the northern side, there you'll be devoured by a big black snake. So don't go there. So the southern side, the bees, is compared to those persons who want to enjoy the fruits of their activities. It's like the bees, they'll go and they get honey, and they go back to get their honey, they get bitten by other bees, they get harassed. So many people, they want to get the fruits of your labor, and therefore there's thieves, and there's so many ways that people are trying to get the fruits of your activities, even family members. So one gets stung by engaging in fruitive activities. And then if you dig on the western side, this is where the speculation, Mayavad, people are speculating so much. I remember I met one person in the airport in Miami, and he had been to India, he's from South America, and he had met so many Mayavadis, and he became bewildered. He kept on saying to me, Nati, 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 Nati. I don't even he knew what it meant. But anyway, I asked for a donation, and he said, Nati, Nati, yeah, here, take a donation. He was very confused. He didn't know what was going on. So Mayavad philosophy is very bewildering. People think, oh, I'm God, or everything is one, or bewildering. So they get haunted by this illusory, bewildering philosophy. And then dig on the northern side, that's where the big black snake, which is compared to mystic perfections. People get these mystic cities and they become bewildered and they get devoured, becoming one with the Lord, and they want to enter into the body of the Lord, into the Brahmajyoti. They lose their individuality, they get devoured. But he said, but if you dig on the eastern side, there you'll find the treasure. And that is the path of bhakti. That is the satisfaction of the soul. The bhakti path. Nothing else will give satisfaction to the soul. And Prabhupada gives the example of a child who's in a room with many people, and the child starts crying, and people are trying to calm the child down, and they're holding him, but only when the child is in the lap of the mother does the child become peaceful. So people are trying in so many various ways to be happy in this world, but it won't happen until they're at the lotus feet of Krishna, engaged in devotional service. This is the pleasure of the soul. Service to Krishna. We have to serve. Either we're going to serve Maya, or we're going to serve Krishna. Better to serve Krishna, because Krishna, he is so great that he can satisfy us completely. He could satisfy everyone completely. He's so great. He's so wonderful. We can't imagine how great Krishna is. In this world, people, they try to be great. It's interesting, tomorrow's verse mentions how if one hears the glories of Prithu Maharaj, he becomes great. So this is how to become great. To hear the message of srimadbhagavatam, to hear the holy name of Krishna. Of course, a devotee doesn't want to be great. He just wants to serve Krishna. But just by that desire to just serve Krishna becomes great. Therefore, there's so many devotees that are famous centuries and centuries, millenniums later. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, millions of years later, they're still famous. throughout the world by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So many people are hearing what real greatness is. Real greatness is to be a devotee of Krishna, to be a pure devotee of Krishna. This is greatness. So, kinchinasya dantasya santasya samacetasaha. Samacetasaha means to see everyone equally. Vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavihasni suni chayo sapakecha pandita samadarshana. That the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, they see with equal vision the brahmana, the cow, the dog eater, the Republicans, the Democrats. That was Bhakti Kevin. Everybody is a spirit soul, right? So we got to see beyond the facade, this body. Everybody is an eternal servant to Krishna, and this gives happiness, actually. And was it Chanaka Pandit? He says, a wise person, an intelligent person, he treats others the way he wants to be treated. So he sees that the equality of the soul. And he treats all women except for his wife as mother. In the material world, especially in the West, everybody just wants to exploit the opposite sex. The men want to exploit the women want to exploit the men. But there's no service attitude. But a gentleman, an intelligent, a wise man, sees other women as mother, and therefore treats them very respectfully. And other person's property as, like it said, a lump of clay. In other words, no interest in others' property. So this is a wise person. It's even mentioned, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that a wise person, he sees equally friends and enemies. It's like amazing. That's like really transcendental. Dirt and gold is the same. So Krishna is really trying to help us transcend this material existence, so that we can go back to Him. And we have to transcend this material consciousness and develop this spiritual consciousness. So Krishna is helping us in so many ways. He's trying to help us to develop this spiritual consciousness and pull away from this poison, this disease of materialism. So kinchinasya dantasya santasya samacetasa maya santu samanasa sarvasukha maya dasa. Maya santu samanasa means that one is satisfied in serving Krishna. Is satisfied in serving Krishna. It's like we're in the kingdom of Maya, so there's so much opportunity for material sense gratification in Maya's kingdom. And therefore many people come and they take shelter of Krishna and they engage in devotional service, but then they get again lured away by Maya. But if we're satisfied in the service of Krishna, then we're happy. We have to get this higher taste. That means, as I mentioned earlier, you have to be careful. We've gotten so many nice books to read. Like it was interesting. I was reading this about this man who's living on a very small island off the coast of Italy. And he was on a cruise to go to another island on a vacation. But the cruise stopped in that island, and people were just going around, checking out the little island. No one lived there except for one person, a caretaker. But this person liked that island, so he stayed. He's been on that island for like 30 years. The other caretaker was just retiring, I guess, so he took over the island. He's the only person there for 30 years. And one person went there. Actually, he's got an Instagram also program, so he's got a lot of followers. And so one person went there to interview him, and the interviewer said, "Well, aren't you a little bored out here in this island by yourself?" He said, "Oh, no, I have my friends, my books." He's a teacher, actually. He was a professor, teacher. "No, I have my books, and they don't argue with me. We get along great. I learned so much from them. No, I have a great time." So I was thinking how much more fortunate we are. We have Prabhupada's books. You know, we may be in lockdown now. People can't go out so much, but we have Prabhupada's books. You know, the best friend. You know, Krishna, Prabhupada. We could just absorb ourselves in reading Prabhupada's books and chanting the holy name and hearing devotees' lectures. So we're so fortunate that we can, although we're kind of locked up, still we could take advantage of our friends. You know, Krishna is the best friend of everyone. Bhoktaram yagatapasang sarvaloka mahesram surdang sarbhutam gyatvam shantim rishyati. And this is the way to attain peace. To understand Krishna, he's the enjoyer of everything, of all sacrifices. He's the enjoyer. We're not the enjoyers. You can see everybody's out there trying to be the enjoyer, but how much can you enjoy? You know, you go out and illegally, and you can get in trouble. There's actually in India, if you go out, you can get beaten. You get beaten. The police, they'll beat you just for going outside. Yeah. Well, I guess they ask you, "What are you doing out here?" If you're not out there for some essential reason, getting food or something, then they'll beat you. Yeah, bamboo sticks. Yeah. So much for enjoyment in the material world, right? You just go outside and you get beaten for it. And so many activities are stopped now in America. The sports arenas and restaurants, all these things, everything's closed. Parks are closed. So many things are closed. You can't go out. You can go out to walk and ride your bike, but very limited. So we're supposed to be the enjoyers, but Krishna said, "Oh yeah, all right, stay in your room, bad boy, bad girl, stay in your room." So Bhoktaram Yogisam Sarvalokam Mahesram. He's the proprietor. Everything belongs to Krishna. We think we're the proprietors of so many things, but no. Everything belongs to Krishna. And he's the friend. He's the friend of everyone. Sometimes it's hard to see Krishna's plan. Why is Krishna doing this? It's very difficult to understand the activities of Krishna. But we should know that whatever it is, it's good, because Krishna is absolute. Even though so many people are dying, there's no death. Of course, again, we have sympathy for people that are suffering due to losses or whatever, but the soul is eternal. No one dies. So Krishna's kind of given us a little bit of a wake-up call that we're very vulnerable. We're very vulnerable. These bodies are very vulnerable. Yeah. But the soul can't be destroyed by any virus. It can't even be destroyed by the most powerful nitrogen bomb. Nothing can kill the soul. What's the verse? Nainam chindanti sastrani, nainam dihati pavi, naichanam kalayanchava, nasojiti marad. The soul can't be destroyed by any weapon. You can't burn the soul. You can't drown the soul. You can't destroy the soul. Not possible. The soul is so powerful. Can't be killed. It's amazing. So Krishna, he's got some plan. We can't see it. But Krishna's plan is always the best plan. It's like we have our plans. So many of our plans were messed up. Just like I'm supposed to be in Europe right now. I was in India, and while I was in India, all my flights were canceled. So devotees said, and the flights out of India are going to cancel too, so you better get out of here. So I took a flight to America. But we have our plans. Krishna has his plans. So many plans were disrupted. All over the world, people's plans were disrupted. Yeah. But Krishna's got a plan. We don't know. We may not know what it is. I don't know what it is. But it's always a perfect plan. Krishna doesn't make mistakes like we do. And there was one devotee who was a secretary of a king. And this devotee was so elevated that whatever would happen, he would say, "Oh, Krishna's mercy." So he was very respected, but after a while he kind of got a little annoying to the king, because he'd always, whatever would happen, "Oh, it's Krishna's mercy." So then one time the king, he was sharpening his arrow, and he cut himself. Bad cut. And so the secretary said, "Oh, Krishna's mercy." So the king said, "Oh, Krishna's mercy. I'll show you what Krishna's mercy." He told his guards, "Put this guy in jail. He's nuts. He has such a bad cut." And he said, "Oh, Krishna's mercy. All right, let's see if that's Krishna's mercy." And what did he say? "Huh? Krishna's mercy." So the king, he liked to hunt. You know, kings go hunting. But usually he would go out with the secretary. But he thought, I'll just go by myself. So he went out hunting. And he got caught by some dacoits. And these dacoits were bad dacoits. They were so bad that they would do human sacrifices to Goddess Durga. So they thought, "Oh, this is very good. We got a king. Goddess is going to be so happy. We got a king." So they took him back to their temple and they tied him up, and they're just getting ready to make a human sacrifice. And one of them noticed he's got this huge cut on his thumb. We can't. He's imperfect. We can't offer him. Untie him, let the guy go, get him out of here. Shoot, we thought it was going to be a good offering. Oh, well. So the king is running through the forest. He's shouting, "Oh, it's Krishna's mercy, it's Krishna's mercy." He was shouting. So then he finally gets to the kingdom, and he goes straight to the where the secretary is in jail, and he says to the secretary, "You were right. I can't believe it. You were right. It was Krishna's mercy. I cut myself. I was out hunting, and I got caught by these dacoits. They were going to make a human offering to the Goddess Durga. They were going to kill me. But because they had this cut, they let me go." And the secretary said, "You see, everything is Krishna's mercy. You have to learn." He said, "Yeah, I'm starting to learn that, but you're in jail. How could that be Krishna's mercy? I mean, to be down here in this dungeon in jail." And the secretary said, "Well, when you go hunting, I would have been with you. We always would go together. I don't have any cuts on my hand. I would have been the sacrifice." And the king said, "Oh, yeah, okay. Good one. All right. Yeah. Let me let you out." So we may not be able to see how this is Krishna's mercy, but everything is the mercy of the Lord. So, on that note, any questions or comments? Is there any question there on the internet?
Yeah, it should be.
I was just reading that, people are concerned about their security right now. Yeah. Because of this virus and so many things. But there's a statement in the Uddhava Gita, Kshemanam Ahatir Mati, that the highest security, the best security, is simply to be aware that I'm the soul within. That is the highest security. To be aware that I'm the soul. Because if we're aware of who we are, that we're spirit soul, what harm can come to us? Even the body is killed, so I'm not this body, I'm the soul within. So this is the highest level of security. And you don't have to pay anything for that insurance, for that security. Just here. So what's the question or comment? Anything? Okay. Well, it's about that time anyway. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.